Welcome to Dino's Garage. Today I'm not working on motorcycles at all. This is the Toyota Estima Aeras. It's a 2005 model. What I'm going to be doing is removing this fascia around the stereo, the head unit. There is a replacement that you can get because this is in Japanese. So what I'm going to be doing is using a selection of tools that I've bought, very cheap off of eBay. You can buy sets that are more sort of comprehensive than this. I think these were like $1.99, you know, just a few pounds, but they're plastic. The idea being that plastic shouldn't damage anything. You shouldn't be using metal screwdrivers, etc. to get into the backs of these things. So I'm going to be trying to use these tools to prise off around the back of here, and then I need to take pictures of the back of the stereo to make sure that the wiring is going to be the same as the new unit. So I can basically just slide the new unit in, clip in the back of the connectors into the back of the new system, and then hopefully everything will be, you know, up and going within sort of, you know, an hour, and sort of not rewiring the whole system and sort of faffing about like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing this morning. I'll take a few pictures and a little bit of video along the way. I'm not going to be filming myself doing it as I'm doing it because it's just me and I need both hands. Here we go. So straight away what I have noticed is when you lift up this sort of glove box, as we still call them, even though I don't think many people use them for putting gloves in, you've got these little tabs in the side here, and with this tool, sorry about that, with this tool then it will fit into here, and then I can sort of push and prise that. And same with this one, push and prise that, and you can already see that that is beginning to remove that fascia. So those are the kind of things that you need to look out for, little areas, little places that you can actually put your tools into to help remove the fascia. So like I say, I'll show you these little things along the way as we go. Okay, nice and simple really. This has taken me, what, 4 or 5 minutes at the most. What I found is I use this tool the most. This one was really great. It's quite thin on the end, and I was able to basically get into the back of this area here, and then just sort of gently sliding along and just gently prising it. And because you got on both ends this angle, you're able to sort of utilize that leverage just to gently pop as you go around. And as you can now see, this is already just popped off. So it just basically sort of clips into place on the sides here, and just underneath. And like I say, within just a few minutes I've got to this point now where I can remove this, and I'm already getting in behind the bones of the thing. So I'll show you that in a minute, what it looks like. What you have got to stop you pulling this off is a couple of connectors. You've got an electrical connector there, and you've got another electrical connector here. So once these are pulled out, hold this nice and firm, use your other hand to pull and wiggle the other one out, then this will basically pop off. So that's what I'm going to do next, just to clarify. I'm going to remove these first. Now, just to show you, from this side, this electrical connector looks like you can just wiggle it, but actually from this side what you have got is a little tab on it here, and the moment you push that tab in, it allows it just to be pulled out quite simply. So yeah, don't make the mistake I've just kind of made, which was basically thinking that they were just pushed in, I could wiggle them out, but they're actually retained by the little tabs on here, and you have to push them first, and then they're sort of sprung in, if you like. Then you can just pull the connectors out. So yeah, once you've done that, they should just release out the back. And there we go. So as I say, this one, when you were looking at it, was retained by the little spring bit on this side, and this one, when you were looking at it in the vehicle, was retained by a little spring underneath. You can see them here, let me show you. So yeah, this one was this side, so you just press it and then that will pull out, and then this one you just press it underneath and then that will just pull out. One thing I do need to show you are these tabs here. These tabs slide in to sort of these areas here like this, and there's one that should be there, one that would be there, and one that would go across there. Now, having thought I've released that, I was nice and gentle with the tools and pulled that out. Once I began to get this fascia out, I realised that this tab's intact, but this one has been broken off and this one is broken off. The two at the bottom are still intact and they are on the side here. Now these are the tabs. Now it probably is true that I've broken these off, and like I say, I was pretty gentle using the correct tools, but this tab has broken off, and like I say, that would slide into there like that, and that one has come off of there like that. So I will try and glue that back in place. It's not the end of the world, because obviously this is intact and it will sit back in there. But the point being, be very, very careful. If you don't want to break these tabs, at least now from seeing this video, you understand what it is like, you know, what you're having to expect. Probably it would have been better to try and release slowly from the bottom and sort of prise it gently from the bottom, from the top, from the bottom, from the top, and then pull it out in one even part. I started from the side, worked my way along the top, worked my way down this side, had a look underneath, couldn't see, it slowly pulled away from the side and the top, but unfortunately these little tabs did break off, and I guess it was me that done it. Maybe it's been done before and they've been broken off before. I've got no real way of knowing, but I can only assume it was me that done this. But this is why I'm doing this video, so you guys don't make the same mistakes I am, and you know what to expect. So what I assume I need to do now, because I haven't seen a decent video to show me what I need to do now, is undo this screw here. There's another one further back, and there's another one here and another one further back. So these are like metal plates that I'm hoping are actually holding the whole head unit to the sort of the plastic part of the back of the fascia. Once I undo these 4 screws, being very careful obviously with a magnetic screwdriver to retain those screws, that then the whole head unit will slide out from these sort of retaining brackets that are each side as well. So I'm just going to go and grab a screwdriver, undo these 4 screws, and then we'll see if that is the case. Okay, so I've removed these 4 screws that you see here. They basically retain, as I've said, the sort of metal bracket. You can just about make it in the back there. There's one at bottom, one at top. Now without a doubt, don't use anything other than a magnetic screwdriver, because if you don't use a magnetic screwdriver, you will, as I've just shown you, you will undo those screws in there, and then you will lose them as they pop out, and they'll drop it down into the chasm, down into the bottom of there somewhere, and you'll probably never get them, and they'll be rattling around inside the back of the car. And you've also got obviously electrical things in and around all this area, so you don't really want rogue screws dropping down and being part of something in the bottom of all this lot. So now I've removed those 4 screws, this unit is now coming out. So I'm just going to put the camera down, try and remove the unit. All I'm doing today, by the way, is just taking photos of the back of the unit to make sure that the connectors are the same as the replacement new unit that I'm going to put in. So I'm not fully removing this head unit, putting something else in its place. That's all I'm doing today. That's why I'm kind of showing you what I'm doing along the way, just so you guys could learn from my mistakes basically. Now I have just noticed another issue. This just slides out in theory, but as you can see, I've got the gear knob, for want of a better term, although we know this doesn't have gears, but the gear knob is in the way of this sliding straight out. But you should just be able to grab a hold of this, rotate it off, and there we go. We should just have enough clearance now without this on there, just to be able to slide that straight out. Otherwise you'd have to turn the engine on, put this down into neutral, have it running whilst it's in neutral, Not a great idea, because then you've sort of got the electrics on when you're removing stereos and things anyway. So yeah, I've just removed that, so we should have enough clearance just to come over the top of there. So yeah, that came over the top of that quite nice and easily. Probably even resting on it underneath there, which maybe helps at the moment, because as you can see it's quite a way up. Now at this stage, I know I haven't got the best of light, but you've got a lot of wires in the back of here, and it kind of gets to the point where you can't move the stereo head unit any further forward towards you because of the wires and connections in the back of it. So this is where it gets a bit irritating for me, because I can't just take pictures of it from here. And so this is what it looks like from behind. Just so you know, if anyone wants to know, this is the serial number of this particular head unit. So in case that's relevant to anybody, just thought I'd give you that information there. So yeah, this is what it looks like from behind the back of the unit. Just show you the various wires and cables. As with the others really that we pulled out first thing, you got these little tabs on them here and here, so that you have to kind of release those tabs before you can pull the wires out. There's quite a lot of tension from this point, so there's not much more play in this. It's not like you can really pull the whole head unit out and then have very easy access just to unclip everything. It's all quite tight from this sort of point onwards really. But yeah, that's what it looks like. That's as far as I'm going to go today, because like I say, I've got to put this back in now, and I'm going to be replacing this head unit with an English sort of slightly more modern version with DAB radio, etc, etc. Just to come back to you on this, I've put the fascia back on. That has taken me literally seconds, probably about a minute maximum. Connected the connection to the back of here, connected the connection to the back of here. Prior to doing that, I'm putting the screws in just to retain the unit in place. Don't forget there is a black earth lead with the sort of small, sort of almost sort of half round prong type thing that you put the screw in, and it retains that earth lead to this bottom left hand metal fixing into the chassis. So that's your earth point for the whole head unit, so do not forget that. That's vitally important. But that's it, and as you can see, all went back in nicely. There's no damage to anything. So although those bits there did break off, and I suspect actually it wasn't myself that did it, but at least you know how to possibly avoid it, because someone has previously put this sort of thing into here, which I think something to do with the radio or something that winds in. So someone has previously popped this off and done something. So if I didn't do it, someone else maybe did it before. It doesn't really matter, because as you can see, being a quality Toyota, just that center one fixes into place. The one I glued seems to have been retained now, but it may pop off again when I try and get this off next time. But that is it from Dino's Garage for today on the fitting, taking out, removing of the head unit of the Toyota Aeras 2005, 2007, whatever, 2006, kind of the same. Obviously, you know if you got this model anyway by the head unit. Thank you very much for watching.